The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to another episode of the Icons of Real Estate podcast, where we spotlight industry leaders. I'm your host, Karen Robertson. Today, we're excited to introduce two guests. Tony Manthey, a real estate advisor, principal, investor, developer, who made waves in 2022 by facilitating a record-breaking $25 million sale in Miramar Beach, Florida. That is the highest for a residential property in the Florida Panhandle. As a principal of Manthey Group and GMP Development and Investment, he's here today with his team member, Christy. Now, Tony's focus is on off-market opportunities, and that has set him apart in the Emerald Coast's luxury real estate scene. So welcome to the show, Tony and Christy.
And Karen, great to be on.
Yes, thank you so much.
So, well, shall we start with you, Tony? What was the inspiration behind you getting into the real estate business in the beginning?
Well, I think it kind of goes back to just I moved here in 1982 from South Dakota, of all places. And I've always had a passion for real estate that goes back years. And I was involved with a mortgage brokerage company. I was a partner in that. So it kind of led me into the real estate industry. And I've always had an entrepreneurial, I never can say that word, entrepreneurial spirit. And it just kind of led me to just want to start something on my own and get involved with real estate. I kind of saw the Emerald Coast as an opportunity where, it was just a sleepy little beach town, and the real estate opportunities started to really take off, and I wanted to be part of it. And again, from the mortgage company, I got involved with real estate, and it just kind of like went from there, where I just wanted to then build a team, because I was very busy. I had a lot of things going on. I was just kind of a lone ranger out there doing my own thing. I was always one of the top producers in the company, Premier Property Group. And I just needed some help. So that's when I decided to form Manthey Group. And I was looking for some different agents and people in the industry that could come in and that had experience, knowledge of the area. And that's when I've met Christy. It was kind of an informal event. It was at a design open house, design company here locally. We met Christy and her husband, Marshall, and they have quite the story themselves. Christy, she's a retired officer from the Air Force Academy, and they lived in California. They have rental properties, and that just kind of really intrigued me as somebody that I wanted to bring on and talk further. And it just kind of led from there. And Christy's been on the team with her husband, Marshall, for about 4 months now. And it's been incredible. We've really brought in a lot more new business since she's been on the team. And we have another part at Manthey Group. We have Kim. She's up in Colorado. She's an agent there. And we have Aaron in Nashville. So we just are trying to touch different areas of the country where, if I have clients coming up to their area, or vice versa, they have clients coming down to our area in the Emerald Coast, where, we can work together, and it's really worked really well. So that's kind of a little bit of back to Manthey Group.
Perfect. And well, what a lovely backdrop there. You're selling yourselves there, because who doesn't want to live by a beach like that, right? You're certainly in the right area for that.
Yeah.
So, well, you shared a little bit about starting the Manthey Group, but what were some of the challenges you faced when you decided to start up the actual group itself?
Well, we're kind of in a market right now where it's kind of a down market. And so I wanted to bring somebody in that, again, had some experience. I wasn't looking to want to train anybody. I just don't have the time. And I mean that in a very respectful way. I wanted somebody that was going to bring in value immediately. Because again, this market that we're in right now, it's with interest rates, high, we're dealing with inflation issues. And just getting through the election, there's a lot of fears out there with a lot of people, clients, that are just wanting to put on hold. So I wanted to build a team now because, in my opinion, even in down markets, there's opportunities, and that's what kind of I wanted to set Manthey Group apart from everybody else. Is there's opportunities, and I wanted to build a team now and have it ready to go. So when the market does turn, we're rocking and rolling, we're going.
Brilliant. Forward thinking. So what about you, Christy, then? So what inspired you to go into the real estate business?
I mean, I've been interested in real estate, I think, ever since I was a kid. I watched HGTV, like all the original shows, Design on a Dime, Clean and Sweep. I mean, those were just the type of shows that I loved. And instead of watching like Disney Channel, I watched HGTV. And I think when I was literally in like 5th grade, I had sketched out my parents' house in Niceville and totally just designed it like their dream home. Because basically, since we moved into the house, they've been wanting to turn it into something amazing. And like, we knew we were going to spend the rest of our lives here. But yeah, I literally like sketched out the whole house. And funny enough, like even until this day, the vision of this house has kind of developed over time. And I call my parents kind of like the king and queen of indecision, because like I know what they want, but they can never agree on like what to do. But I hired a draftswoman to literally kind of almost take that vision that I built over time and like create an actual like dream home for them. So I'm actually in the process of doing it and picking out all of like the design choices and just making like those decisions for them. And we'll probably like start actually creating this like dream, like bringing it to life probably in the next year or so. So it's been with me. Like my love and passion for real estate has been with me my entire life, but I don't think I really like dove into it and started educating myself until around like 2017 when I graduated from the Air Force Academy. And my husband and I, like, we share the same passions, and we just started talking. We're in entrepreneurial spirits ourselves, and we always like wanted to either have our own businesses or something, but real estate was one of those things. It's like the problem that will never kind of go away. Like everyone's always going to need a place to stay. Everybody's always going to need a place to live. And we're like, this is kind of the answer, and that's what got us into that. And we started buying up properties while we were active duty and, managing them. We bought our first place in California that is a long-term rental. And then we started buying out properties out here because we knew eventually, we would come back to this area. I could be close to family and we could like manage those. So just kind of went full force into that. Both got our license while we were active duty, kind of doing the future planning, because we knew like military wasn't going to be our career. And we really saw this opportunity in real estate and wanted to build generational wealth and, future plan, and then move back out here. And shortly after met Tony, So yeah,
perfect. Well, you both are being very forward thinking. Tony with the whole business, because it's so true that, all these things, it too shall pass, right? So you're getting ready for the next explosive growth. And you, Christy, with your parents' house, you're now manifesting that vision. Amazing. So can you share a memorable success story from your career?
Well, again, and you kind of led into it. I've always dealt with pretty high-end clientele. I was with Manthey Capital Group. I did a lot of consulting with different investment groups, hedge funds, all up in New York, all over the country, that were looking for, different development projects, money, cash, for their projects. And this kind of led into a client of mine that we found here in the Emerald Coast. It was a 10.7 acre right on the beach, had a 30,000 square foot home on the property. It was the only home. It was owned by an oil company out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And it was kind of a property nobody really knew about, but so we did it. It was off market, and we worked out the transaction. We bought it for $16.5 million, my client, and he was going to renovate the house, but he didn't decide that it was just going to be too much. So we decided then, he says, Tony, you think we could sell it? And this was like a year later. And I said, sure, let's do it. So we put it back. We didn't put it on the market. It was, again, off market again. And I reached out to one of my clients that I had a relationship and done some transactions with. And I said, listen, you interested in this? He said, yes, definitely. Let's talk. So we met, we discussed it, we worked it out, and ended up closing the deal at $25 million. Again, which was the highest priced residential transaction in the Panhandle, and I think might still be. So that was a few years ago.
Wow.
And now we're developing that out. It's got 4 Gulf front home lots, and now we're going to have 30 interior lots that's going to be developed out, and lots going to be for sale here very soon. So that's just
Wow, amazing.
that kind of leads into just with Manthey Group, and we just want to be that one-time shop for our clients, because not only we do the luxury real estate, we do investment rentals, but I'm always been involved on the commercial side with multifamily, senior housing, hospitality, warehousing. So that's the way we can cater to our client no matter what need they have: development, construction, residential. We specialize in waterfront properties through another company of mine, GMP Development and Investment. We purchased a piece of property on the water in Kelly Plantations, a gated community, and built a 6,700 square foot home, pool, dock, and everything. And we have that in contract. It closes next month at $6.75 million. So it's just that's kind of where me personally, that's kind of where I'm heading more into the development side, and have a sales team with Christy and the rest of Manthey Group, leading on the residential sales, but also getting involved on the commercial and development side with me. So that's kind of, and off market is a big thing with us.
Off market is a thing.
That's a big thing
is the thing then to do.
Clients can see what's on the market. They can see, they can research and see what's on it. But what we bring value to our clients is the off market properties that we present to them and offer to them that they can't find anywhere else. So.
Amazing. And have you gone this route because of the current real estate market conditions? Has that sort of moved you in a slightly different direction?
Yeah, because I've mainly been more of a buyer's agent, where I just represented my high profile investors and buyers and represented them on transactions. And I had a few listings here and there, but now in this market, again, you got to pivot, be able to pivot, in up market, down market, whatever it takes. And so we've kind of shifted gears, me and my team, and Christy's been a vital part of this, is going out and now getting listings, residential listings. And we have, in the last, 3-4 months, we've probably got over $21 million in listings that are available now on the market.
And off market.
And off market. And now we're just looking for the buyers to come in.
Right. Well, if anybody's listening. So what steps can you take, or do you take, to ensure a smooth transaction from the contract to the closing?
Well, I think first is just having a good team is absolutely pivotal in ensuring a smooth transaction. I mean, we have so many relationships with great local lenders in the area, good closing attorneys, home inspectors, ensuring like a home inspection is probably one of the most important things to have, just so you can explain to your buyers, like, hey, this is what's going on with the home. This is what needs to be done until we close. I mean, constant communication on the buyers and seller side, because without the constant communication and updates, a lot of things can get lost in translation. Things can blow up very, very quickly. And another thing is just providing like a timeline to people, I think is extremely helpful, just ensuring everyone is on the same page.
Right.
I mean, anything else you would add, Tony?
I mean, I think communication is key. I mean, we're very big on communicating with our clients, just letting them know, because again, purchasing, a property can be a stressful situation, especially right now, because a lot of buyers, again, are just nervous about everything. And they're just like, as long as we can guide it through and let them know that, hey, we're here for you. We're going to be here. We'll take you through the whole process. You can rely on us. And because a lot of these clients are from out of state and they're not here. And a lot of times they'll buy things sight unseen. So they rely on us to, be that person here and they're looking for our feedback, our opinions. So, it's again, the value that we bring to our.
I think education is like another really important thing too, because I mean, whether the buyers or sellers have like been in real estate for a while, or maybe they're brand new, but things are constantly changing.
Yes.
Like the NAR settlement, there's just a lot of additional documentation that's now needed. And so educating people is crucial, because if people don't know what's going on, then again, it just causes more confusion, and then it can cause a deal to blow up. So it just allows people to be like comfortable with everything. Yeah.
Well, and that goes back to this constant staying in contact, the communication. So education, communication, and having a great team. That's what I'm hearing from you two guys.
Yeah.
So what strategies do you use to, you've got to try and negotiate the best price for your client. So what kind of strategies do you use for that?
I mean, there's multiple things that I can come up and discuss, but I mean, to me, depending on if we're working with the buyer or the seller, obviously on the buyer side, we're always trying to negotiate for them, the best price. So we're in contact with the agent, and we go back to our buyers and say, listen, based on comps, based on the CMAs that we did, based on our knowledge of the property, based on how it's renovated or not renovated, the location, just there's so many factors that come in to, what offer we suggest to our buyers that they should come in on,
or even on the seller side, same type of thing.
Same thing, obviously there's a battle because, the sellers believe they have a certain number that they feel like their home is worth, where the buyers, they're just on the opposite. They're trying to obviously get them down, to where they feel is a fair number. So it's a back and forth. And
but also it comes down to like educating again, like when the sellers believe their home to be like a certain value, you have to be like, hey, well, this is what the market shows.
Yes.
This is what your home is worth, and we have to look at the data. I think at the same time, you have to understand what their needs and priorities are too when it comes to negotiating. So it's like you can negotiate the price, but then maybe later in additional terms and stuff, you can bring things to help both sides to help people, come to some kind of agreement.
I think especially right now, down market right now, the buyers are trying to they're wanting to come down because they're feeling like the sellers are going to drop the price. So in a good market, there's never an issue. Sometimes we get multiple offers, submitted on things, but we're not in that right now. So everybody right now is just trying to get the best price possible, both on the buyer and seller side.
Yeah. Well, again, it's going back to the education, because you've got to keep up with what's going on, because things will change and it's in a constant change.
In this industry, if you don't go with the change, if you can't adapt to changes, you won't make it. Because
You're
right
out.
now, agents falling out of this industry left and right now because one, they don't have established relationships built. Two, they just can't, they get stressed out and they can't deal with the changes, and they're not making a lot of money maybe right now. So they're not in a position where they can withstand. But again, I keep going back. Best opportunities I've ever had in this industry is during down markets. And when you can bring that value to your clients who is in a fearful situation, and you bring that value in a down market, that is a relationship that is built for years and years and years. My best clients are from opportunities I brought them during down markets.
Tony and I were just talking about this the other day. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of Warren Buffett, but he has just a great quote. It says, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful."
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that
Brilliant.
right now, like people are in fear, like people are waiting for the election. You don't know what's going to happen. Like we had hurricane season, like things are getting destroyed. And so everyone is kind of in this like fearful state, not knowing, but that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities out there. They might be a little bit more difficult to find, but they're there, and you just might have to, widen your horizons a little bit and try to find those.
Mm-hmm.
Great advice, great quote. So yes, I know a lot of people I speak to, the last sort of this year and last year has been a struggle, but what were your transactions like last year before Christy came on? How many units were you selling? Let's ignore the $25 million one. That was a couple of years ago, but how were things like last year?
I mean, last year was still a little bit of a down year, which is kind of led into this year. But I mean, the year before that, I think I did like 65 million in business.
Wow.
In the year before. I mean, we have probably 140 agents with Premier Property Group, and I've always been in the top fives, since I've been here. So I mean,
Tony always kills it. He always.
And again, I think it just goes back
still
to
killing it.
Well, I appreciate that, but it's been a process. This is not a business that people think they can get into and just get rich because they see what other people are making. They think, oh, I can do that, but it's not as easy as people think. And it's you got to be patient, you got to be persistent at times, and you just got to be able to just roll with the markets.
Yeah, sure. And now Christy's on board. What's your targets then for the end of this year?
Well,
what's next
again,
for the Manthey Group?
Our push is to finish out this year, obviously, to get some of these transactions closed that we have the listings on. Again, we have 21 million plus in listings. We have a couple commercial transactions off market we're working on right now. I have a hotel deal here in the local area that I'm closing in November. It's a $6 million deal.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I mean, we feel leading into next year, we're going to have an incredible year because we're positioning ourselves today for tomorrow, and so we're just excited about the future, and we're excited to, talk further with our clients and bring them to Manthey Group.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So our last question, as always, because here at Icons, we are the #1 real estate podcast network, and our passion is to make podcasting accessible to everybody involved in the real estate business. So if you guys had your own podcast, what would you call it?
Man, put us on the spot there, Karen.
Yeah. It's got to have something to do with the beaches, hasn't it? It's got to have something to do with beaches and real estate.
I mean, the Manthey Beach life. I don't know.
The Manthey Beach life. Like it. The Manthey Beach life. That's pretty cool because, that's what you're offering. People are coming to you for that view, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we can show them. We can show them the beach life here on the Emerald Coast.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Come and experience the Emerald Coast with Manthey Group. I don't know.
There you go. There you go. So for the listeners out there, if their ears have just pricked up, how do they reach you? How do they get in touch?
Well, I mean, you can call us, or we have a website, Manthey grp.com, at manthey.grp.com. It has our bios, it has information, it has different services we offer. You can see, what's available on the market, both commercial, off-market things we do, the developments, some of the construction projects we're involved with. Again, we're with Premier Property Group, and Manthey Group is the team name under the Manthey Group, or under the Premier Property Group brokerage. My number is 850-585-5501.
My number is 850-543-3930.
So yeah, give us a
Brilliant.
call.
And they will also be in the show notes. So take a look if you want to get in touch. I mean, yes, the Emerald Coast, absolutely beautiful, stunning.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And to the listeners, I'll be back next time with the Icons of Real Estate. Bye for now.
Thanks, Karen.
Bye.
Yeah.